What is happening? Welcome to another NPC Players Pulse. It's Monday. That means it's all things Mario, and I put out a post today on X, just asking people to rank the first four Mario games. And I got to tell you guys, it has been it's been interesting seeing everybody's thoughts on this. And not only X, I also posted it in the Discord as well. And I gotta break this down. I gotta get in. We gotta get into this. And I have a feeling there's gonna be lots of comments after this, but there's a lot to kind of unpack with this. And these are all games that like I love dearly, dearly. And I know you guys do as well. So we're gonna hit the intro, and then we're gonna talk about the top how to rank the first four Mario games. Okay, so this this turned out to be a super fun post, honestly, and I'm still seeing so many messages in Discord, so many messages. They're still coming in on X, like they are still coming in on X. So interesting, and as somebody who got to grow up with all four of these games and has so many different feelings for all four of these games, this is not an easy list. Now, we've done this before on NPC where we've ranked all the 2D Mario games and stuff like that, and like there was quite the debate between Mario World and Mario 3. So I get it. I struggle trying to decide which one of those two I like the best. It's really, really difficult. Now, I am live. It's much later than my normal live time because of the holiday. We were out having fun, so I don't even know if people are going to show up or not. Fingers crossed, because I'd love to get some live reactions here, but I just don't know if that will end up being the case or not. These are fantastic games, and the post I put out says put these Mario games in order from best to worst, and it's Super Mario Brothers 2, 3, and Super Mario World. Okay. So, how do you rank these? How do you rank these? Now, I'm gonna go through, and I'm gonna give you guys. I'm just gonna go through Twitter first, okay, or X, and we're gonna look at a bunch of the answers here. Okay, bunch of the answers. So, first up from Wave Hood says, honestly, easier than I originally thought. This is a common result here. World 3, 1, 2, with 2 being at the bottom. They finished up by saying, I like Super Mario Brothers 2, but I just can't put it over 1. It feels like a crime, LMAO. I understand. Paris said Super Mario 3, then Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers, and then Super Mario 2. Now, Paris has almost 90,000 followers on X. Let's see, and I want to see some of the replies here, because there's more answers in his replies. So from It's a Boy 14, this is Super Mario World, 3 Mario Brothers, and then 2 at the bottom. Another person says, my brother and I were arguing just yesterday whether or not 3 was a 10 out of 10. the disrespect, of course, World is his favorite, so he has bias towards it. Another person, World 3-2 Bros. And then let's see. Someone else says, I can understand the Mario 2 placement, but the remake is one of the best games in the franchise. Oh, okay. Well, just like I recommended everybody try Mario 3 on GBA. Maybe we're going to have to try Mario 2 on GBA. That'll be in the upcoming weeks then. I know this coming week, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Sega game, which should be fun. I just don't know if that has been decided in the Discord yet. I may have to put up a poll for that. But yeah, so that's interesting. I want to play that game and see what changes. What's different. I assume it's on NSO. I'd have to double check, I guess. I kind of want to go back and play all of these games on NSO now to see, like, on GBA to see, you know, what's different, what's better. We know it's better with like 3. All of those e-reader games are amazing. Like, that's fantastic. So we know that's amazing. So, I know why there's no viewers here, you guys. Because I made a mistake and have this set to unlisted. Here we go. Now, that should open things up. I'm going to let the Discord know real quick. Also, here we go. Give it just a little at everyone real quick. The reason I had unlisted a video and then I reused the settings, so I'm like, there's been no viewer. Like, I can't imagine there being nobody. So strange. Yeah. I went to check on the YouTube side of things and it was like all zeros. I'm like, wait a minute. I know they're gonna come flooding in now. It's gonna be fun. So getting back to the topic though, we have more answers in Paris's tweet here. We got World, Bros 3, Bros, and Bros 2. Or Brothers. I know I've gotten reviews for saying Bros. Bad reviews. My bad. Sorry. And then somebody says All Day Every Day 3 is better. Better than World. And World is great. I'd flip 2 and 1 though. I played 1 recently and couldn't stand it. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. To say you could go back to play 1 and not stay, like, how is that possible? Like, when I've jumped into like NES World Championships, the Nintendo World Championships, I love playing all these games. Like, so I don't know, like, if I could see not growing up with it and saying like, yo, it's not as good as it used to be. I get that, you know, sometimes the rose tinted glasses can't save everything, but like, what? There are elements to 1 that, like, yes, it could feel a bit dated because you can't go back to the left like you can in 2 and 3. So, I mean, I understand. So I see Stephanie is in the chat. What's going on? Welcome on in. We are currently gonna rank the first 4 Super Mario Brothers games. So I hope you're ready. I'm not even ready, honestly. Like, I'm not ready at all. So, I see Ryan is here too. What's going on? Welcome on in. So, I mean, again, looking at the majority of the answers, and I wish I had a poll to look at, but like, there are so many people. Let's see. That, you know, it just goes between like 3 and World. That seems to be like 1 and 2. They kind of end up in the they kind of end up at that bottom of that list. But like I feel like 3 and World is what is so debated. And I think the reason is 3 really set the tone for what a Mario game should be, and then World came along and in some aspects like just kind of iterated on that, and also did some other like really cool things, you know. So there's elements to it though. There's more elements to it for me than just the games, than just playing the games and just the gameplay and everything. So I want to get to chat real quick. Sunshine, welcome on in. Quick little side note from Stephanie says, how are you feeling about the Switch 2 now? And the games being keys and not physical games doesn't bother me at all. Like, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. So totally cool with it. And like another quick side note, I'm not sure that the rest of the world, like Japan, I don't know, maybe Europe's similar to the US, but I know in Japan, I don't think they're all that concerned with it either. So not a huge deal for me. Yeah, at the end of the day. And I will say this, I know there is some misinformation out there from outlets that I would assume would know better, but according to what my most recent Google search, you can still download Wii games, you know. And then the argument will be, well, what about DSi? Well, DSi games are still on the 3DS eShop, which you can still re-download. You just can't go and buy anything new. So even these keys are going to last a very, very long time. And you know, I understand we're not technically owning anything. It's just a license, but I'm not like, everything's going to be going digital. There's just no way around it. So I'm not all that shocked or surprised. So, but back to the topic at hand. Let's kind of break this down. And I do want to go. I just want to give a quick peek through the Discord. Cryptic says World 3 1 2. Raymar says World 1 3 2. 1 is above 3. And then we have I can't read some of the names because of like streamer mode. Hang on. Here we go. We have Flyest Nihilist. What a great name. 3 World 1 2. And I said 2's getting no love. And Flyest said, I'm a 2 defender, but what can you do when the competition is that fierce? Super Mario Brothers is arguably one of the most iconic games of all time. Super Mario Brothers 3 and World have been battling it out for the title of pinnacle of the pinnacle of 2D games for decades. No question. Raymar said, just have to remember that games that get listed 3rd and 4th in the order are not bad games or anything close to it. It's just when I tell somebody which one of the 3 Lord of the Rings movies is my least favorite of the 3, it's still one of my favorite movies of all time. So there we go. Sunshine says 3 World 1 and 2. Nate says 3 World 2 and 1. Oh, okay. How you been says World 2 3 1. Taking a look here. Hate Zero says 312 World. That's crazy to have World at the very bottom. I mean, I get it. I'm not mad at it, but like, you know, to each their own. But I'm honestly a little bit shocked to put World that low. Taking a quick peek. I'm just kind of scrolling through. There's some cool conversations happening. It looks like player 1 says 3, and then there was a typo. So it says Super Mario 1, Super Mario 1 and 2. So I'm guessing 2 and 3. One of those is World. It was just a typo, and I'm gonna guess that World is 2 because that's been the majority of people. Brian says World is not only true Mario. 1, 2, and 3 are just raw prototypes. World is the only true Mario. Here we go. Love it. Love it. So, there are a lot of factors here. And I want to ask you guys in chat, did any of these, do you have factors that play into how you rank them outside of gameplay? Because for me, there's a number of things. Gameplay is huge, right? Don't get me wrong. Gameplay is huge. But then hype and marketing of these games is also another big factor for me, because these games are important to me, not just because I used to sit and play them as a way to be entertained, but they are a moment in time for me in my life that, like, you know, I think the majority of us can resonate with the fact that, like, sometimes we don't realize we're living the good old days. You know what I mean? And not to say that I haven't had like good days as I've gotten older, but like when you look back so fondly on the fact that, like, we got to play and like grow up, or you know, some of us got to grow up with this and grow alongside it, like the special time in gaming. Like, it was a special time in gaming. It was with special people for me. You know, just growing up in the little farm town with the friends I had that just loved Mario games. You know, and so, like, Mario 1, I'm going to start there. Mario 1 was very special to me. Not really because of, like, it didn't have a whole lot to do with like friends, but more like this introduction to Nintendo. Like, I didn't know at that time, some, you know, almost 40 years later, that like I would have an amazing community, all because of this goofy plumber running through this mushroom kingdom, who eventually started like racing carts. But like, we have a whole day each. We have 52 episodes a year now dedicated to just this plumber. And it's special, you know? It's very special. So I want to take just a quick break looking at the chat. Sunshine says the one that shocked me, that one shocked me, that World was at the bottom of the list. Yes. Shout out to Hate Zero, past co-hosts. Sunshine also says, yes, for me, it was also the concept, the power-ups, creativity, and the mechanics of it. For me, Super Mario 3 was all of that, all that we expected in a word. I think so. Or in the world. I'm not sure which. There could be a typo there. She can correct me. Sunshine also says, Super Mario 3 was one of the games that had me hooked on all things Nintendo. And Nadine says, exactly. So let's break down. Again, going back, Mario 1 was really my introduction to Nintendo. I had gone from playing games like Pitfall and Space Invaders, a lot of stuff on the Atari, to then all of a sudden I'm in this like really, really fun adventure. Like, I loved it. I loved, unbeknownst to me, I eventually would like start to kind of speed run, just because I've beat this game. I can beat it really fast. Let's see how fast, And so it just adding different, added different elements of fun. I think for me, the thing to really, really, to really keep in mind is the music. And the music, when I hear all the music, there's something special, right? But the music with one I remember like being in that point as a kid where you're starting to realize that like, yo, I am going to start to get older eventually, but I'm living some pretty cool times right now. And it's going to sound silly, but like I grew up on a farm, living in a farmhouse. The the way the house was laid out is the one end with like the front door. That was like our living room during the time that Super Mario Brothers was out. And I can remember when I hear um Super Mario Brothers music, there's part of me that is immediately transported back to that living room. And what's really funny is like if any of you guys were at Nintendo Live, you got to see a like retro setup that had like the furniture style television, right? With all the wood around it, and NES like sitting on the floor. You had the cables, you couldn't sit that far away. The controllers were wired. That was like the shag carpet and stuff like that. Like we didn't have the shag carpet, but like we had this dark brown carpet, the furniture style television, the I can remember like the designs on the couches had like uh they were very much like the couches. Like if you ever see a picture that's like this was the furniture from every grandmother's house, like we had similar furniture where it was like there were like designs of like old I don't even know like water mills where there was like kind of like these outdoor scenes along the river. I don't it's like it's so bizarre that this was like couch like the designs on furniture. Floral nightmares. Yes, that's a good way of putting it, Sunshine. And so like the moment Super Mario Brothers music starts playing, it it takes me right back there. Like it takes me right back there. And it's really one of those moments. And I know not everybody has this, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that this was my childhood, but like it was a very safe place. Like my mom was like I like literally I hear the music and it takes me back to sitting in that living room, the windows being all like foggy and steamed from my mom like cooking spaghetti for us, right? And like what's very very interesting about this is that if you were to ask my mother, she would be like, "Yo, that music takes me back to like peak motherhood for her, right? Where the kids are all a certain age and and it's just a special time." But focusing strictly on the gameplay, like I think a panel just fell off my wall. It did. What what is going on? What is happening right now? That's gonna that's gonna bug me. We're gonna have a little pause real quick while I fix this. One sec. Okay. All right. There we go. So so that's kind of Super Mario Brothers 1 in a nutshell for me. Like I got really good at it, could play all the way through it, like would try to get through World 8 as fast as I could. It was always a fun challenge. Love the game. Music, top notch. So many like just fond memories. I have video footage of me. I don't even know if I can get it. If I'm ever able to get it, you guys, it is oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad. Because in the early days of Mario, when you held the controller, when you held the controller, especially when you were first getting into it, for some reason when you jump with Mario, you'd lift your hands. And if you're only listening, you're not seeing me do this, but I have the NES controller in my hand right now. and you would do this, and you handed this controller to any of your parents or grandparents or anything like that, and every time they would jump with Mario, they would throw their hands up in the air, right? And then Nintendo finally did it when they made it on the Wii U, and they made New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and you could do that motion and make Mario spin, which I think was fantastic, right? So there's literal footage of me, like, I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna reenact it for you guys, and it's a good thing I don't get embarrassed, because this would be embarrassing for some people. But like, I'm playing, and I'm like, I think my tongue is hanging out of my mouth, right, a little bit. And I got to a point, like, I'm new with the game still. It was like probably January, February, right after I got the system, and I'm playing. And at one point, I like take one hand and I kind of do one of these things, and then I get back, like, so I didn't think I was going to survive, apparently, and lose a life, but I was able to keep going, and I have video footage of this. And then my dad's best friend, who had like a full beard, he was like kind of this like logger dude. He's like, ha 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 ha, eating chips, whatever. We're having a good time. The moment he starts playing, he's just like, he straight up looks like Charles Manson. He just looks like he's the angriest he's ever been in his entire life. And it's the funniest thing. Like, and we have this footage. I think my little brother is also on my lap, and he's not very old. He's not very old at all. So, I mean, if he was born and he was one that was like 89, so I may have had the system for like maybe a year. So, there. Oh, great. Nate got a clip of the panel falling. I love it. So Super Mario Brothers 1, like, super near and dear to my heart. Strictly on gameplay, though, like, I mean, without it, we don't get the other games. But when the other games start to get so much better, where do you put it when you rank it on a list like this? It makes it difficult. Now, 2, entirely different story for me. Like, again, music, super powerful for me, super important for me. Mainly because I remember, and I'm kind of just going down, memory lane a bit, right? For why these are so important. 2nd grade, what would become my best friend moves in up the road, or at least, like, I think our moms somehow met each other through some kind of horse activity. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, here he comes up. Here comes this kid. His name was Eric. And he's a gamer. He's got like Contra and Mach Rider and a few of the games I didn't have. So it automatically, like, we kind of like automatically doubled our gaming collection, because like we were a bike ride away, so it was always easy to trade games and stuff. And I remember sitting on a school bus with him, reading the first episode, or the first issue of Nintendo Power, and seeing the clay animation for Super Mario Brothers 2, and any ounce of information that we could get about that game, we were just eating it up. This is well before the internet, and so like, if any other gaming magazine had anything about it, we were trying to get our hands on it. Going to Toys R Us and all this stuff. So like, that was my best friend, and sadly he passed when we were 19 in a car accident. And so, we had a childhood of memories. But when I hear the music, the first level in Super Mario Brothers 2, like, again, it's just, I'm taken back to like summers on our BMX bikes. And like, if you watch movies like The Great Outdoors, or the majority of like 80s movies where like kids are on bikes, and Goonies and all that, like, I feel like I lived that, right? I lived that. And so Mario 2 is a game that I try to go back to and kind of beat, like, sometimes once a year. Sometimes I don't get to it. Sometimes I'll just jump into it for a little while just to kind of hear the music and stuff. But like, I'm always taken back. Like, it's like these games are like different like totems for me, if you will, in my life. And so I want to give a quick shout out to everybody hanging out. I see Rue is in chat. Matt Williams says, I have a Facebook memory that pops up every year from about 18 years ago of screenshots of me beating 3 because of a friend posted something saying that it was impossible. Oh, I love that, Matt. That is very, very cool. Nate says something about Mario 3 too. He says Super Mario Bros. 3 was amazing then. Still is pretty amazing to have all this different landscape worlds per theme of that world. Yes. Yeah. Sunshine says we expected it in World 3 was where the aha moment happened. I see what you're saying. Yes. Nate says we need to convert Josh to Mario 3. Like, it wouldn't take much, right? Like, it's not that World is like way above 3. I hate having to choose. I hate having to choose. And, you know, there are elements of 2 that like, that do bother me, that you can't step on you can't like smash the enemies by jumping on them. You have to pick them up, you know, and I remember thinking this a little bit, that it was a bit worrisome, right? That I'm like, yo, is like it. I literally just read chat and completely lost my train of thought. But okay, I remember what I was thinking. It was like, yo, is this like the, you know, Donkey Kong to Donkey Kong Jr. was like a drastic change, right? And then Junior to 3 was like a drastic change. And it was like, is Mario going to be like really different every time around? Like, we lost the majority of the major like mechanics, you know? So what's the deal with this? And then 3 was like this reassurance of like no, Mario is very much back, and we are only seeing just the beginning of the way Nintendo wants to treat 2D Mario. You know, I got to read this message from Rue. This is what threw me off. It says that, bro, that's depressing. Hearing Mario music and being reminded of your dead friend is some analog horror type crap. No, it's like, it's one of those things that like, it's very much a good thing. It's like a way of honoring him, honestly, and remembering him. So it's it always puts a smile on my face because we had the best time. We had a great time. And I always tell this story. Because like, basically he got to play the game first. And he got to play it first. There was a kid at the horse, like the horse barn or whatever, where his mom would ride her horse in the arena or whatever the case was. And this kid had the game already. I think it's worth noting too that there was a chip shortage when Mario 2 came out, so it was not easy to get. And I remember having like birthday money in my mom's purse for the moment she saw it. And every time she would go, she had to go to she'd have to go to Everett, Washington, to Costco. And if she went there was a chance she would go to Toys R Us. That was the closest one. And so she would go and check for me and would always come home empty-handed. Like, it took a year, I think. And then finally one day she's like, I got this. Remember this before like cell phones, right? So it was just like, you just sit and wait. And I remember like, I was probably sitting at the kitchen window, just like waiting for the car to pull in. And she was like, look what I got, you know? And like, I couldn't put it down. I loved it. And so it wasn't Costco Price Club then. I mean, well, you got to remember Costco started where I lived, right? Like, that's why the Kirkland brand is right near Seattle. So I think it was still Costco even back then. But I don't know what was like, you know, it could have been something else, maybe further south or something like that. So, So two was special. It was special. But anyway, he got to play the game first, and he came back. Remember, mind you, we're like in second grade, and he tells me, "Bro, they changed Luigi's name to Luigi. He's named Luigi now." And I was like, "No way! Can't believe it. That's crazy." You know, he just didn't read it correctly. And then I started telling everybody, like, the amount of people that probably thought that was true, because I would literally tell everybody, because I thought it was like, this is wild. Why would they change that name? They didn't. He just, and I remember when I finally got the game or got to play, I was like, bro, I thought you said, he's like, oh, that's what it was. So it's just a fun memory. But like, when you get into Super Mario Brothers 3, this is like a whole new level of hype, right? Like two was hype. Don't get me wrong. 2 was hype. And everybody was ready for a sequel. But then 3 had a whole movie as a commercial, The Wizard, right? And I never saw The Wizard until like probably close to like 2010, you know, or maybe even 2015. And so that right there was like, all I saw was previews for it, but the previews, it was like, there was previews, and then there was also like your entertainment tonight, you know, and having segments like talking about like this new movie from that, you know, showcases Nintendo's new game tonight at 11. Like that was very, very common. And so like, again, and even the commercials back then of like for Saturday morning cartoons and that kind of stuff, like I could not have been more excited for 3. And the like seeing the box art. And I remember my friend Dave, he lived close to Eric and I. He got it like day one, and I remember borrowing it often, and I would rent it often. I never purchased it. Like I have the physical in my collection now, but like as a kid, I loved Mario, but I would borrow it from people all the time. Like it honestly kind of like, I'm not sure why I never got my own copy as a child, because I know I would have been like begging my parents for it. So maybe it was just a season in their life that it wasn't like games like that just weren't feasible. Like I don't remember, because I know I wanted it. So but I also feel like I didn't really miss out on it. Like I feel like I got to play it and play it extensively, because I remember going through all the levels. Like I remember getting into like World 5 and like getting into World 5 and finding the Tanuki suit was something that was super cool. The level 4, I remember Dave telling me, he's like, I got to level 4 and it's like giant world, like everything's huge. And I was like, are you serious? Like I couldn't wait to like do another sleepover and get to check it out. And so like 3 is pretty like, it's got like so much hype as well. Like it was so good. And I didn't beat 3. Like I used to play 3. I remember one time, and I talked about it when we were, you know, if you're looking at this footage, we were talking about 3 as our game of the week. So like I beat 3 on my 3DS like years later. And I mean, I had this game on like Mario All-Stars and that so I did own it as a kid, just not the NES one, but I did have it on All-Stars. I had a couple versions of All-Stars. I had the world version of All-Stars, and I had the original All-Stars, which again, that game was just like so hyped when it got announced. And so like 3, again, near and dear to my heart. I don't know that a Mario game has ever done power-ups as well as Mario 3. Honestly. Like the frog suit, and you swim differently. The Tanuki suit is a little bit different than the raccoon. Like I love the raccoon. I love the ears. I love the tail. I loved the run mechanic and seeing the hitting top speed and like the sound the game would make. Like there's just there are so many elements to it that I'm like, yo, this is so good. Finding the secrets. There were so many different like Easter eggs that we talked about, like turning into the statue and having enemies walk by, or even having even being able to take out the flames, right? Like just so many cool things. And I would spend hours loading up on P switches or P wings and the little clouds to skip levels. And I remember one day I just had like all like my like probably 3 pages of power-ups that were all like stars, the cloud and the P-wing. I didn't use one. I had gotten good enough at the game, and I was like, yo, we're getting through 8, right? It was tricky, it was tough. And I would always get hung up on like the airships and stuff. But like I remember getting there, using the P wing, like flying all the way through it, and I think it's hard for me to remember like how far I got exactly, but like I got like I remember getting close to the end anyway. And the only thing I think the only thing that really stopped me from beating that game was the fact that like there wasn't you couldn't save. You had to beat it in one go. So that was um that was probably the biggest reason, because it was tough to get through the whole game in 45 minutes when I was a kid. So it wasn't until later that I beat it, and it was such a satisfying finish. Okay. Now, that that being said, I mean, I loved it, right? Like there's no question. You get into Super Mario World, and Yoshi, the cape, the marketing, the music, it was a new system. Everything was like new and shiny. It's like what we're about to experience with Mario Kart World. That made it like just so hyped. Like it was so hyped. So, and again, my friend Dave, he got the Super Nintendo before, like right at launch. And so I remember going over there and holding the SNES controller for the first time, and seeing all the colors in Super Mario World. Like it was a it was something else. Like it was hard to go back to my NES after playing Super Mario World. Like it was really difficult. And like, there were elements like where Mario's climbing the fence and he's looking at the screen essentially, and then you could hit some of those panels and it would flip, and then his backside, you're just like, oh, it was mind blowing. It was just absolutely mind blowing. And the world, like going through the world the way you did, and eventually finding like all of the yellow blocks and the blue blocks and all the different secrets. Like it was so much fun. But I will say, like, I missed all the different power-ups. The cape was cool. Fire always makes its way in. But like I did miss like the frog suit and the Hammer Brothers suit and the Tanuki suit, and like really wanted to see those like make their way over. Keep them going. Like keep it's Mario. We don't, like, if we're keeping the fire flower, keep some of the other stuff too, and the cape had a great mechanic though. Like I loved the way you could like just glide with it. And because I owned it and didn't have a lot of other Super Nintendo games at the time, like I played through that game, every profile, like there was 3 profiles, all of them 100%ed. And it was just, again, a very special time, in gaming. And I remember my aunt and uncle getting their Super Nintendo, and I know they had Mario Kart, so that's where I would play that most of the time. And you know, talking to my uncle about World and you know what he thought about it and all that kind of stuff. And again, just like riding Yoshi and learning all the different secrets, jumping into Nintendo Power. The marketing was crazy as a kid. Like every commercial, I was just like like hanging on every word about this the next Nintendo. And it was, I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Christmas movie 8-Bit Christmas. I highly recommend it because it's like some of it is so accurate for what it was like growing up as a kid in the 80s, just wanting everything Nintendo. And so again, it's definitely worth checking out, especially like per this conversation. Like it's really good. It's really good. And so I, it's hard for me to rank these four games because I love all of them so much. And they're all like, again, near and dear for different reasons. And I honestly think the only reason I rank 3 a bit lower than World is because of the fact that like I owned World. I knew it like the back of my hand. I loved the Bowser fight. Like I loved the Bowser fight. I loved that the Koopa kids were back, Koopalings were back, but I loved the little animations after you beat one, right? Like Mario would like kick the castle into the ground, or like one time he like pushes down on a switch and it turns their castle into a rocket and sends it off into a mountain, and then that mountain has a bandage on it. Like there's just like that kind of stuff, those little like just that production value and that kind of thing. To me, it really progressed the series. And none of this at all takes away from 3. And so I think if I'm gonna rank them, it's gonna be in the exact way that they came out. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, World. And that's how I'd rank them. I I don't I don't like this game of having to choose. It's like trying to pick your favorite kid, you know. But you everybody probably has one, but they don't like to admit it, you know. And none of these options take away from the greatness of what any of these other games are, because they are so fantastic. Just so fantastic. So again, I'm gonna go, my number one choice is World, number 2, 3, number 2, 2, and number 1 is 1. So I'm sorry, number 4 is 1. So that's how I'm looking at it. It's tough for me to say that, but like I think that's figure drawing says yes. Parents have a favorite kid, but they would die for all of them. There you go. That's true. That is true. So they're all fantastic games. You guys let me know in the comments if you're watching and listening on Spotify, let me know there what your order would be, and tell me how I got it wrong or why I got it wrong. It's all good. We don't have to agree on everything to be able to be friends and have this discourse. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact and you've made it this far, let me know your thoughts there, and which order you would rank these first 4 Mario games. So Figure Drawing says I'm definitely the favorite in my family. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for jumping in. And I know it's later than I typically do it, just because of the holiday. But I wanted to make sure that we stay consistent with each of these different topics that we're doing each day. And so, what a great Mario Monday. Tomorrow is going to be a Top 10 Tuesday. And so stay tuned to the Discord. I will have the topic that we'll be covering in Discord if you guys want to get a little get a little bit of homework done prior to the show. And as far as I know for this week, I am still going to try to shoot for that 6 p.m. spot. But again, stay tuned to the Discord. I will let people know if it ends up being a bit later. Just so you guys aren't like waiting around or whatever. So you guys are amazing. Appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.